Okay, in this video, we are going to see how we want to modify our line or area chart visual that we have done in the previous video. So the focus of this video is we want to see how we want to modify our x-axis, y-axis, data label, how we want to modify our title and improve our legend and series labels. Okay, so let's go into our Power BI desktop, and this is the Power BI desktop page that we have done in the previous video. And let us look at the first example using our first visual, which is the line chart. So I'm going to select the line chart, and when we have selected this line chart, we want to modify it. We can go to the second icon in the visualization pane, and these are all the settings available for us to modify our line chart. Okay, for example, let's start with our x-axis. Okay, by default, this x-axis is using this type continuous. We can also change it to categorical if you want to, and you can see all the categories appearing in our x-axis. But normally, if we perform any time-based analysis, we normally just maintain it as continuous category type. Okay, and we can also choose to hide this year label, because anybody seeing this chart will understand that the x-axis is showing the year range. Okay, so we can toggle it off. So now we can just display the year label for our x-axis. Okay, now how about this y-axis? Okay, so if we don't specify any data label, I think this is also covered in my previous video. If we don't have any data label, we can use our mouse cursor to hover over any area in our line chart here, and it will display a tooltip showing us the exact total revenue for that particular year. But we will have a problem when we want to print this out on a paper, or we want to produce this in a different platform, not Power BI desktop. So this behavior is only unique on Power BI desktop. So what we can do is we can activate a data label for it. Okay, so you can toggle this data label on, and for each point we will see a label appearing. Okay, so as you can see here, the data label, some of the data label here are intersecting with the line chart itself. So what we can do is we can further customize our data label here. Okay, for example, after I expanded this data label setting, I can choose to have a minimum offset. Okay, so let's see the difference when I change this value. Yeah, so if I change this value, for example, I increase it. Let's say I increase it to 15. Let's see what happens. Okay, so now if I increase it to 15, okay, you can see that now we improve it to make sure that the data label is not intersecting with the line chart. Okay, and we can also improve this further by activating these leader lines actually. So you can see that for each data label we have a line indicating where is this label applied. Okay, we can also choose to change the position ourselves if we want to, but I just leave it as auto for now. Okay, so if this is still not up to our requirement, we can increase it even further. Okay, so this is what happens when we increase it to 45 offset. Okay, and if you want to make it even better, we can also turn this marker toggle on. So for every point we have a marker, and we can also create this marker in a different color. So if I expand this marker setting, we can have a control here to change our marker colors. Okay, by default, it is showing us as a same color as our line chart, and we can change it. For example, I'm going to choose this bright yellow color. Maybe it's too bright, so let's change it back to this default theme color. Okay, slightly orange. And yeah, that is how we can customize our line chart up here. So now we have displayed the data labels for our line chart. Our y-axis is no longer relevant for us. Okay, so I can choose to hide the values for this y-axis. So now we can focus only on the line chart without having to read the y-axis values. Okay, and before we go to the second visual, let me change this title to make it clearer. So I'm going to change it to solid black color and bold. And yep, if we want to, we can also change the position of this title. Okay, by default, it is the title is aligned to our left. We can change it to the center or even to the right alignment. Okay, this is up to us, up to you how you want to display this title. Okay, let's go to the second chart down here. So for the second chart, um, okay, for the second chart here, let me improve this further by having some secondary category. Okay, because otherwise we are actually displaying the same analysis between these two visuals. So I want to make this slightly different than the first visual. So to do this, what can I do? Okay, so to do this, let me introduce category to this area chart. Yeah. So I'm going to drag category here, this category here, I'm going to drag it into our legend field. And you can see here that our area chart just now has been segregated into 4 different categories. Okay, mixed, rural, urban, and youth. And when you do this, you can see that for urban and youth, okay, I think not urban. For mixed and youth, you can see that the area there is very small. So what can we do to improve this visual? So to do this, we can actually change our y-axis values. So by default, this y-axis values is given as a normal range of numbers. Okay, so I can change it to become a logarithmic scale. So I can toggle this scale on. So now, even if the value is small, it is shown in logarithmic scale. So now our used and our mixed category can be visualized even clearer. Okay, just by turning this logarithmic scale to on. Okay, now what else can we do here? Okay, as you can see at the top of this chart area, when we introduce category into this legend field, we can see that automatically a legend comes up. Okay, this legend position, we can change it by going into this legend setting, expand this legend setting, and we can change the position from this drop down options. Okay, for example, if you want to make it at the bottom center, you can toggle this to bottom center and the legend will be changing position to the selected position. Okay, we can also change this. If you don't want to use any legend, we can toggle it off. But if we toggle this legend off, we can no longer have a direct representation which color is related to which category, right? So another alternative to having a legend is by using this series label. Okay, so if I toggle it on, for every series, we have the associated category name to it. Okay, so to make it clearer, I'm going to expand this series label setting and I will apply some bold style to it. And I can even make it a slightly larger font just to make it clearer. Okay, so similar as before we exit this, before we finish this activity, let's see what else can we do for this customization. Okay, let's go to general and I'm going to change the title to make it clearer, make it bold and solid black color. And okay, one last thing that I think I can share with you in this short video is how you want to change how you want to add additional analysis to your line chart. Okay, let's click on our line chart again, the first visual. So for line chart, we actually have some additional analysis that we can add to it. Okay, for example, if I click on this third icon in our visualization spin, we have this additional analysis available. Okay, so for example, if you want to find out what is the average total revenue across this time period, so you can toggle this setting. Okay, expand this average line, and then you can click on this add line option, and you will be able to see a horizontal line appearing on your line chart. So this is the average total revenue over the years. So by default, when you activate it, you will only see a reference line without any values. So how can we get the actual average revenue, right? So to do that, we can toggle this data label on for this average line here. And to make it clearer, maybe we can put it. Okay, that is the value, right? So let's see if I can zoom into this area. Okay, so that is our average revenue across this time period. Okay. Okay, so a part of having this average line, we can also create a trend line. Okay, so if you toggle this on, this trend line, if you toggle it on, you will see a trend line appearing. Okay, so the purpose of having a trend line is to see whether our performance is increasing or decreasing or a stagnant performance. So that's what we can normally derive from a trend line. All right. So those are the setups, or those are the modifications that we can perform on our line chart and area chart. Okay, so in the next video, I'm going to teach you how you want to create a different visual to present a different analysis. Okay, so see you again in the next video.